Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Whitefish, Montana. And let's see, let me just make sure I forgot to check, make sure I was live everywhere I wanted to be live, right? Since we know that sometimes Facebook is not the nicest to me, let me check on a few things to see if I am live everywhere I meant to be. So, how are you all today? Let me know where you're watching from. And if you are a regular, then I obviously know where you live. But if you're not a regular, I would love to know where you're watching from. What is going on here? All right, hang on. Let's get this sorted out. Yeah, the group doesn't seem to be up and running. All right, so not in the group today. Not sure what's going on with that, but we're going to go ahead and get started because we are here on the Facebook page at least. So, whew, thank goodness for that. Let's see. All right, we are good to go. All right, we're just going to go with it. Hope Facebook goes with it with us. So it is Thursday, therefore it is Thunderstruck Thursday, and I have a new technique for you that I learned from Sharon Armstrong, one of our Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. So I wanted to share this with you because I thought it was a pretty cool idea, and you can use pretty much any stamp set. So after you see the card, I have a sample card for you, and then I decided to switch and do a different stamp set for the live, and so then I'm curious to see what you think about it. Let me grab my chair. I've been standing all morning and I've decided oh yeah, I needed to sit. So let's do that. Let's move the camera down just a touch. There we go. And let's go ahead and get started. So I started the first card, my sample card, with the cheers and sips. And as you can see, there's a lot of little stamps. So I decided to try that. And so I did this, and I have all these little stamps, and then I colored some of them in with Stampin' Blends. And I like how it looked. It looks very fun, very bright. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to try a different stamp set for the live. So we're going to try something different. I don't often do masculine cards, which people find very interesting because I have a son and a husband that I don't do a whole lot of masculine cards, and I don't always find them easy unless I'm focused on them. Then I can make cards for them easy. So we're going to go ahead and use the trusty tools and do this same technique. I also, you can see here, and I'll give you the measurements, you can see here that I did it on white cardstock, and then I have Secret C as my backgrounds and for my inking, so, or for my sentiment, excuse me. And then I just did Granny Apple Green on the inside, but I ended up not doing anything. I probably should stamp something on here. So it's very nice. I forgot to use dimensionals, so we're going to use dimensionals. So we're going to kind of spoof it up or spiff it up a little bit and see how that works. First off, I already put all the stamps that I want to use onto blocks. That way we didn't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about using any of these any of these dies, because we're just stamping today. That's the beauty of it. So you can do this with probably any stamp set is my guess. So we're starting off with, I'm using basic beige instead of, since it is kind of a masculine card, it's also got the wood, or the wood idea going behind it. And then also I was thinking of, you know, kind of the dirty that goes with it, which makes me realize I forgot. There we go. I forgot my daubers. because I want to add a little bit of that dirty, smudgy look to it, because, you know, guys are dirty, especially when they're dealing with tools. Tools are definitely not a clean thing. Hi, Missy. So I have my background here of the pecan pie, and that is your usual 5.5 by 8.5, and I didn't score it, so we can just fold it in half and it would be scored at 4.25. All right, or we can just fold it like that and do this. You don't have to always score it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. All right, and it's going to be a landscape card, so I'm going to set that aside. Then I have, for the inside of my card, I did a 4, is it 4? No, 3 3/4 by 5, so I had a larger border around this edge. So this will go on the inside of the card. And then these are the frames, the mats. All of a sudden I lost my words. The mats. And this one is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So you want to write this down if you want to make this card. So you have your regular card base, 5.5 by 8.5, folded in half. Then you have this at 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and you have this one at 3 1/4 by 2 inches. All right. And you can always go back and watch this as a replay. Excuse me. You can always watch this as a replay and write down those measurements and pause it then. This one right here is your usual layer. It is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. We have this one of 3 inches by 3 inches, and this one of 3 inches by 1 3/4. And what we're going to do is we're going to take little mini glue dots and our take your pick tool, because this is the best way to deal with any glue dot. And we're just going to do this and put it on the back. All right. And do this and put it on the back. Then we're going to flip those off like that, or pull them off. We're going to put this piece right directly on here to where you have the top, the sides, and the bottom even. All right, and you can measure it if you want to. Let me line this up. So it's about 1/2 inch from each. You don't have to measure it. My first one, I didn't measure. All right, let me zoom in for you. So Missy, your card from earlier looks great. Missy and I did a little bit of craft and chat time. I'm starting to reach out to team members one at a time and do that. Oh, I put that on the wrong side. Let me see if I can take that off. And the reason I say the wrong side is because when you use your trimmer, there we go. When you use your trimmer, you can see how it kind of gives a ridge. And I like to do that as my underside. That one's folded. So let's go ahead and move that. And we're going to put another fresh one that will be flat on here. So we'll do a flat one. There we go. And then this one is going to be right about here. All right, so you want to have the same distance over here. So move that back a little bit. And so I'm doing the same distance from here as to here. So you just kind of put it just like that. Oh, but then I forgot that too. All right, so we want to stamp. All right, let me get myself all put together here. I'm going to use pecan pie. And we're going to stamp the word dad on it. All right, so dad. You can do a sentiment there if you want. I decided to just go with the word dad, and then I'll have my sentiment on the inside. Now we want to go ahead and put that back here. All right, we need some paper. Let me get some scratch paper to stamp on because we might stamp off of the card a little bit. So here's a piece of scratch paper. All right. So now we're going to start stamping. So the first thing I'm going to do is start with the larger tools. All right, and I'm going to start with a hammer. Okay, so I'm going to use the basic gray. All right, so basic gray, because to me that's, you know, the outline of metal. So I'm going to use that. And we're going to stamp across all those layers. So you want to make sure you stamp firm. All right, because you want to stamp all the way across those layers. Now this one has a fill in. So I'm going to fill it in with a different color though. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to fill it in with, I think we're going to fill it in with red, or Poppy Parade it is. Poppy Parade. So we're going to stamp that and fill that hammer in right there. All right, whoop. Yep, that's what I was just going to say. Make sure on the, well, that doesn't matter, but you want to make sure on here. So when you're going down from one layer to the next, you want to make sure to capture that. All right, so then we're going to go with the paintbrush, and I'm going to do the paintbrush actually. Oh, let's not do, because we've got this open. Let's do the wrench. So we'll do the wrench, and I'm going to do the wrench over here. Remember, we've got the different layers, so you want to make sure to get it well stamped so it covers all the different layers. Now the wrench happens to have a handle too, but I feel like that should just be gray. So I'm actually going to switch, and I'm going to use the smoky slate because it's a little lighter than your gray, and that way I can fill it in, but it won't really fill it so deep and dark in. There we go. And again, making sure to get across all those layers. All right, just like that. Then, because you can still see the lines from the dark gray, then I'm going to use the paintbrush, and I'm going to use the pecan pie. Nope, let's not. Let's use the, I can make up my mind, really I can. I'm going to use the crumb cake, and I'm going to do the paintbrush. All right, in the crumb cake, like that. And remember, you want to make sure to get it across all three layers. And then I'm going to fill it in with the pecan pie. Where's my fill in? Here it is. I'm going to fill it in with the pecan pie. Like that. Remember, you got the different layers of paper, so you want to make sure. There you go. Ooh, I just missed that part. Oh, that is not wanting to sink in there. All right, like that. And then at the bottom of it, I'm going to use my blueberry bushel for a little bit of paint. Okay, it's going to look like there's paint on the brush. Just like that. All right, so gives that a little bit of paint. All right, so now I want to come in with my crushed curry and our, where's our basic gray? And our basic gray. And we're going to do a tape measure. All right, making sure I hit all those areas. All right, because we're hitting 3 different areas. And then with the crushed curry, we're going to do the fill-in, which is usually like that. Okay, which is usually yellow. Most of the ones, the Stanley ones, are all yellow. So I decided to go ahead and use yellow. I'm sure there are other ones that are not yellow, but that's okay. There we go. That looks good. And then we have, let's see, what do we have here? We need, what else do we have? We have a pencil. So I'm going to do the pencil with the lead in the smoky slate. Like this. And I'm kind of rocking it a little bit because I want to make sure it goes in there. But then the fill in, I'm going to do in the blue. All right, so we'll add a little bit more blue here. And we'll do the pencil fill in. Oh, I almost feel like that should be yellow, don't you think? Maybe that should be yellow. Pencils are yellow or red typically in the construction area, I think. So let's go ahead and go with the yellow, because I think most people will be able to relate. All right, there we go. All right, and then we have some little fill-in. And I'm going to do it in two different colors. I'm going to use the smoky slate first, and we have our little screws and nuts and bolts. And I'm going to do some in this color, and then some in the darker gray. There we go. And just kind of filling in some of that extra space because I used up all my tools. Did I use all the tools? I did. I used all the tools, but I only used them each once. You could probably do other ones. So we could do, let's see, we could do the pencil again over here like that. And then do it actually down here. We could do it in the Poppy Parade. Let's clean this off. Hadn't really thought about that, but I guess I could have done more than one stamp of each. Oh, what's happening? There we go. There we go. And there. All right. That gives it a little bit more color. So you could, I could have stamped more than just one of each of these tools. It just depends on what you want to do. I hadn't really thought of it. This turned a little bit. All right, but let's go ahead and put the rest of it together because you'll see it's really cool and it will make a fun card at any time of year for Dad. All right. So do you have a dad who is tool or a husband who's into tools? If you do, this is a great card for them. If not, like my dad was really not into tools. So my mom was the one that was into tools. So I just always didn't do, my dad wore ties. So for Father's Day, I would find cards that had ties and things like that on it, or golf. My dad was very much into golfing. So then we did that. Tools was definitely not something I would relate to my dad, but I do relate it to my husband. He is very much a tool guy. And my son as well. So then we're going to put these layers on their mats. So we're taking it apart, putting these layers on the mats, and then we're going to use dimensionals for the mats. Here we go, like that. And then this one will go directly on our card front. All right, no dimensionalizing this one. All right, so we're gonna do that like this. All right, now when Sharon did these, she did them with leaves and flowers, and I wanted to try something differently. Your dad had a ton of tools and did lots of woodworking. Oh, very cool. That is awesome. Yeah, so tools probably make you think of your dad. Yeah, tools definitely do not make me think of my dad. They make me think of my mom. She loved tools. When I got together with Ron, she and him would sit and talk about tools. She just thought tools were fun. She didn't have a ton of tools, but she had some tools and she had some power tools. But yeah, now she doesn't because I said, Mom, Ron's got any tool that you might need. And she said, yeah, and probably a better quality, because she bought inexpensive tools and my husband does not buy inexpensive tools. So now what we're going to do is we're going to line this up so that our tools still line up with all the lines. So you can see, so you're watching the lines, watching your lines. All right. And then, oops, we don't want dimensionals over here, right? Because then it will be wonky. Forgot about that. So we're just going to roll those off. We're going to have to do glue there. Let's see. Oh, I'll have to see if I can pick this one up and move it over. There we go. Pick it up, move it over. All right, so we're going to have to put some glue here. And we're going to match that up like that. Oh, I love it. I love it. So what do you think? How fun, right? I should do some more. I should do another set of these over here. I feel like it's missing something. Oh, here we go. So if you do forget something and you want to add, make sure you protect your edge right here. All right, because otherwise it would have stamped on there. All right, and I feel like I need something over here. There we go. I think we got her. I'm gonna do one more right there. All right. So then on the inside, I'm going to stamp the "You're the most awesome," and I think I'm going to do it in crumb cake. Here we go. You're the most awesome. There we go. And we'll do a couple tools on the inside one. I think we're going to go with the paintbrush. All right, so we're going to stamp our paintbrush over here. And then stamp our handle with the pecan pie. Like that. And stamp our, whoops, our little one inside with the blue. All right. And that way it coordinates nicely. There we go. All right. And maybe we'll throw some basic gray nuts and bolts over here on this side. There we go. All right, and I think I'm going to do one more set right there. All right, so then we will glue this on the inside, and you have yourself a triple stamping card. Not difficult or challenging at all, but surprising at how well it turns out. So what stamp set would you use this with? What stamp set would you do this with? All right, you can use the trusty tools. All right, if you need a dad card, you can use the Cheers and Sips. If you need a fun fresh card, or you can do flowers, leaves, pretty much anything and everything that, whoop, that's a little far away. Pretty much anything and everything that you can think of. All right, it will work for anything, so you can do it. I think it's going to be fun, and I would love to see what you create, what stamp sets you use and create with this technique. So let me just remind you, oh, I don't have my printouts. I don't have my print. Oh, here's one. All right, so if you're local, the end of summer Croptacular, reach out to me. The price is $135, and you only have until the end of this month to register. Oh no, excuse me. You have until next Friday, the 15th, to register, and then it will be closed. So make sure you get your registration in. Reach out to me. I'll send you the link if you want to use PayPal, or you can send me a check, or you can pop by with some cash. I also have, but I don't have a printout of that, the Ghouls Night In, the virtual Ghouls Night In on October 3rd. If you are interested in that, please reach out to me and I will get you that information. It is also in an upcoming email, and it was in the newsletter from last week. So I'll be sending out another one specifically just for the Ghouls Night In. And then I'm also going to be doing locally 2 nights of Ghouls Night Out using the same products, some of the same products, and doing some of the same things. So we're going to be doing the haunted house kit as well as the banner and a card. So make sure you reach out or check your email and make sure to register as soon as you can for that, because that will be closing August 31st as well. Okay, and then there are a few other things coming next week. You'll be getting an email before then, but next week I will be doing the mystery hostess. When you place an order of $50 or more, or for every $50 you spend, you get an entry point into a mystery drawing, and you can earn Stampin' Rewards to spend on whatever you want to spend it on. So stay tuned for more information on that. I wish you a great Thursday. Thank you, Missy, for joining me. I appreciate it. Anyone who catches this on a replay, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I do appreciate your time. So take care, and I will see you on Monday morning at 9 a.m. for Paper Pumpkin Playdate. Maybe I'll pop in before then. We'll see how the week goes. See you later. Bye-bye.